Hello, viewers. Hello, listeners. My name is Steve. You don't know me. I'm the host of the show, and I just want to apologize ahead of time. There is something that went horribly wrong with my audio during this broadcast, during this recording, I should say, and I don't know what the problem was because I could not replicate it. It did not sound. I did not sound this way to the other, to Andy or our guest Lucy. I did not sound like this at all. It was the same input. Everything was the same. And so I don't know what happened. It must have just been a software hiccup with Streamlabs OBS picking up the signal from my microphone. I messed around with the audio settings all day. And this is pretty much what I should be sounding like. So I want to apologize ahead of time for the quality of my audio. I'm going to do my absolute best to try and get it to sound as good as possible. Luckily, I do have quite a few days to do that editing, so hopefully it's not too awful, but I want to apologize ahead of time. Thank you. This was a fantastic episode. It was probably my favorite episode that we've done all year. This was a great episode, so please stick around. Please listen to it. I appreciate you, and enjoy the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Dual Screens podcast. I am one of your hosts, Stephen Fontana, and with me, as always, he's in the other box, but you really can't put him in a box. He cannot be boxed. He is Andy Asimakis. How are you, Andy?
Can't box me out. Stephen, it's going to be a spicy episode.
Spicy,
today,
indeed.
I think we have to move to the UK.
Oh, okay.
Like a lot of our guests lately are just from the UK, and I think it's easier on us and on them for us to move there.
Sure.
And be the best podcast, probably based out of the UK.
Right.
Goals
right.
for 2021.
Andy, we have a special guest here that you were very excited for, and why don't you introduce our guest this week?
I think all guests are special. Let's get that out there first.
Well, you know, you win some, you lose some, but you know, this is a winner. This is a winner.
Get a call back. Joining us this week is Lucy Kyriakidou, our first Greek on the show. I'm very excited about that.
This is very exciting.
God.
This is very exciting.
Freelance 2D artist, BAFTA member, and art director for a little game that you may have heard of, known as Battletoads.
Indeed.
Oh my God.
Indeed.
This is real. Lucy, how you doing?
Yeah,
welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Also, sorry, as soon as we started recording, my dog started going nuts in the other room.
Oh.
So sorry about that.
You can sense the excitement in the air.
Yeah, exactly.
Andy's dog does the same thing, so it's all good. We're used to it over here. For those of you that are new to the Dual Screens podcast, this is the world's #1 indie developer interview podcast, probably. Everyone in the gaming industry, be it a programmer, an artist, a voice actor, a director, it doesn't matter. They all have a story to tell, and we want to be their platform to do so. The show posts each and every Thursday for your listening pleasure on your podcast service of choice, including Podbean, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course the video version of the podcast on youtube.com/dualscreenstv. And if you are watching on youtube.com/dualscreenstv, please consider giving us a thumbs up, a subscribe, and all that other fun stuff. Leave, comment and whatnot. Help us get up in the algorithm. The algorithm is not friendly to us, so that would be great if you can do that. So yeah, let's kind of dive right in here. Andy, I know you have a lead-off question. You told me for about a week and a half. You said I have to start this conversation off, and I said, you know what, bro? It's all you. Go for it. What do you got?
It's gonna be spicy.
Oh, here we go.
Lucy, I love it.
Lucy, you are a freelance artist, 8 years of experience in the industry, and you've helped bring over 20 games to life. Now, my question for you is, what the hell have you done to my Dark Queen? Why is she not sexy? And this is not from like a macho straight guy thing. This is coming from a homosexual man that misses my dominatrix. I'll let you explain yourself and the whole situation, but that's how we jump off here on the show. Bringing the spice.
So, no, that's fine. I think I need to update my stuff because it's 10 years now. This
Oh, here we go.
decade in games. Yeah, so I was the lead character designer on Battletoads, but I joined after Dark Queen was designed.
Wow, you dodged a bullet.
Say, I don't know why you think she's not sexy. I think them hips, like, I don't know.
Listen,
to me, that's something very attractive in a woman.
We have had a creator and publisher of hentai games on the show before. Andy is a very special breed of person. He is very specific in what he finds attractive.
I fell down the dark hole of hentai games since all of October was just the most.
We need to get him out of this, Lucy. You and I, man. I've been trying for like 3 weeks.
My fiance is like, "What is going on the TV?"
You don't want to. You don't want to know.
It's just pixels, fucking.
It's just pixels doing their thing. So let's.
I know that was.
Oh, it's a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. We've learned very abruptly that it is a thing.
The more serious question here is: you've had a very long, successful career.
Congratulations.
How did you end up on Battletoads? Like, how did you land? That's a huge game. It's a revival for a well-known franchise. Describe that journey for us. How'd you get there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be that exciting, but it was just somebody I had worked with before, and Delilah, they were looking for just a character designer to help out. And I did my art test. It went really well. One of my, the characters I designed during it ended up in the game.
Nice.
So it was a really good fit. And honestly, I think I was going to say I got lucky, but I'm sure Delilah got lucky as well. The game got lucky to have me too.
One of the interesting things about this game when it was announced was how divisive the hardcore fan base really was about the art style. We had people write into the show. We had conversations about it. What were those conversations like when the team is coming up with that style or something that is such a departure from what we know and kind of leans heavily into what for example, like the Teen Titans Go, like that's the kind of vibe I got from it, like that Cartoon Network, like Nickelodeon style. What were those conversations like when you're designing characters for that, or like what was internally the response to the fan response?
Oh, like the fan response, or is that
like both? Like what?
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, I think we all wanted to create something based on like big nostalgia of those Saturday morning cartoons that people saw it straight away. And I mean that's what it was, right? And we grew up with that kind of style and we wanted to bring that back and just show that our excitement for it, kind of share it with the world as well. And I mean it's a stupid game, so I think it just fits perfectly in this just exaggerated style. Definitely making things look stupid was a big goal every time I created anything. And how to make it just silly and just not make sense. In terms of the fan response, I think obviously a lot of people had things to say at the beginning.
Yeah.
But since it came out, I know the response has been so positive, and I'm really glad because people got to see the full thing. The game is not just what it looks like. It works perfectly with the writing and it works perfectly with the gameplay. And I think maybe that's what people were missing, the big picture at the beginning.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say is even when the first I think it was a teaser. I don't even know if it was a full trailer. I don't remember exactly, but when that first happened, even Andy and I were like, I don't know what this is. This is such a weird. It was weird. We were
what I thought it was gonna be.
But gameplay aside, because we're critics kind of in our own right. So, but gameplay aside, the cohesion between the art, the storytelling, the voiceover, the sound, and this, the overall silliness, it all did kind of come together in a nice little package at the end. But yeah, just that first thought, I think it was just that it was a shock, and anytime that you're taking something that people remember and you're presenting it in a different way than what they remember, it just has that kind of what's the word I'm looking for? That I don't want to say not repulsive, but like you have that like I forget. I'm trying. You know the word. I can't think of the word, but
it goes against like what you had in your head. Like what
aversion. You instantly have an aversion to it because it's not comfortable. And I think that's what was happening to a lot of people. It's like, oh, Battletoads. Wait, this isn't Battle. Like that kind of thing. Kind of like, again, going back to Teen Titans Go, when they had Teen Titans Go and they took away Teen Titans, people were like, no, this is different. But Teen Titans Go is awesome. It's an awesome show. Yeah, right. It's a fantastic show. It's just different. And people had to kind of get used to that.
Yeah, and the audience is different as well, right? So we need to like take that into consideration. Like people who play Battletoads then and people who play Battletoads now, like everything is very different. And like going back to Dark Queen, I feel like everything's a product of its generation.
Sure.
So I wouldn't feel comfortable putting Dark Queen in like dominatrix gear right now. It makes sense, you know? Like maybe in hentai games it makes sense.
Right.
Or like
so what I'm hearing is there's a possible DLC of her and her dominatrix outfit.
That's what I heard too. Let's print that. Let's get that. That's the quote for the episode.
I'm wondering, did you play a lot of the old games like before you worked on this title, or was it more like you researched them when you were on the project?
Yeah, I did when it was on the project. Like it was not something I played like in my younger years, I guess, in my youth. Yeah, so it was only when I got on the project or when we started having these conversations that, like, you know, maybe something that I maybe, like, you know, looking to help with. That's when, like, I really researched it. I'll say, every time people say, oh, have you played it much and stuff, I suck at this game.
Most people do.
A lot of people do.
And the new one, I just have trouble getting past a certain point. So, yeah, I played a bit, but, like... There's only so much I could do.
How much does that?
I just watch like stuff.
How much does the tactile feel of a game influence the art decision, the decisions you make as an artist, or does it kind of influence the other way around? How do those two things marry each other?
It depends on the project. I think because I had come to this quite late, I got I say quite late. I mean, you know. Like the style was set and all that. So I took a lot of influence off the gameplay and everything itself. And obviously there are things you need to consider anyway when it comes to gameplay and designing characters for a certain game, like with cameras and all that stuff. But I obviously, like a lot of times there were ideas when we just talked through and that influenced the play. Like, well, if we wanted a character to do something like weird, we're like, oh, we can use that maybe in battle, or, you know, like, cool. So I think it's like a relationship. It's like a back and forth.
Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, again, to go back, initially there was that shock because I'm carrying the weight of a 20-year childhood memory of what a game was.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, there's an expectation of what it should look like, and now it's not this way. But then I have to think, like, most things, like, they're not just made for someone like me. Like, me and my weird dominatrix needs aside. That it's all about, again, branching out to a more wider, diverse audience than it was, you know, back in the Nintendo days. And again, that goes with, you know, what characters should look like, you know, their shapes and their bodies and all that stuff as well.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, like, even the general audience of games has changed so much from then. But yeah.
Oh yeah, it has. Yeah, I mean, for the best. I mean, I always felt like more of us that play, the better.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, I was a struggling kid with like the nerd that played games and no one else played games, and now it's like everyone plays games.
Yeah.
It's interesting too because, like, I think when you're making a game like this, you also have to keep in mind who's publishing it, and being an Xbox situation where everything's on Game Pass now, your audience is instantly much more diverse than it would be if you just had a box on a shelf and you said, hey, frogs fighting cartoony bad guys. Oh, kids, yeah, grab it, put it on the thing, right? But in Game Pass, it's more like it's almost the same thing, but you have a much wider net. Like, people don't have to go out and actually look for anything now. They're just going to try things. And I think that, like, having a style of game that speaks to the 30 somethings, the 30s and 40-year-olds that grew up with it, but also might be trying to pull somebody who maybe never played a beat 'em up game before, just based on the popping of the visuals, or like that Saturday morning cartoon. Like maybe they do still watch Saturday morning cartoons. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I may have just binge watched the Animaniacs. I don't know. I'm just saying, but you know, hitting that audience, and I think that has something to do with it as well. Like, you know, possibly kind of changing things around, especially with the whole dominatrix thing. to go back to that. Yeah, I mean, what's gone on with your career after that? Like, well, actually, you know what? I kind of want to talk about because you said you designed a character during your test, and then it made it into the game. Why don't you tell us about that story a little bit more? Like, what character was it, and all that fun stuff?
Yeah. When I looked at the art, like obviously I did an art test just to see if like I could work in the style, if we're all happy like on both sides. And when I first looked at it, I was like, oh my God, can I actually do this? Because it wasn't a style that I used to do a lot of. Even though I like experimenting with a lot of different things, but honestly, it just was something that I hadn't tried before. And yeah, it just seemed like the more I worked on things, the more like excited I was becoming, because it was that like childhood, like we were saying, like Saturday morning cartoons, that was coming back to me, and I was like, oh my God, like my childhood, I remember now. And I had drawn so Brucey is this like bulky orange dog thing with like on the back. I think it's the first tutorial with like a bulky enemy, like like a like a brawler type.
Like a big tank.
Yeah. And it was that character, and like immediately AJ, right, the creative director, he saw it and he was like, oh my God, I'm gonna call him Brucey. And that's like, and then we kind of adjusted to make sure like it like just polishing, I guess. And he made it into the game, and honestly, he's still one of my favorite characters I've designed because he's just so cute. And people just beat him up. It's just awful. That's the one thing about like the game. I was like, oh, and these characters probably like have children and families. Like as I'm drawing, just making up little stories about them, and then just go in to get beaten up.
Do you come up with like? I'm just trying to wrap my head around like how the marriage between the two, and I know you got into it a little bit, but like if you look at Brucey, you design Brucey, and do you say, hey, this is Brucey angry, this is Brucey, punching, this is Brucey getting punched, or do they say, hey, I need a list of Brucey doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then like you kind of just draw it and put it together, and they say yes, no, like how does that relationship work?
So after like designing the character, I did a lot of sketches, but they were not all like game specific, like specific to the game. So like there was one of him just like eating popcorn, or just silly things, just to get an idea of the character and the personality. Obviously some things like jumping and like getting knocked out, and then we kind of start thinking like working with animation and just thinking, okay, does this work, what reads okay, and like doing a back and forth, maybe some like paint overs, like but it's like it grows like organically, I would say, because like I would start doing a lot of things again to kind of show how it moves, how the character moves, and the expressions, and then we were seeing how that translates into specific actions for the game. Yeah.
That's cool. That always fascinates me.
What is Brucey's backstory in your head?
Oh my.
I'm curious.
So Brucey doesn't really like, to me, he's like a dog type thing that just likes to eat popcorn and just like this adorable dog. I don't know, to me he's just like a dog, because back then I didn't have a dog, like that was just me wishful thinking. It's like this little dog and it's popcorn and just goes on walks.
I love how you design this thing. It's like, it's adorable, it's gonna have popcorn, but it's essentially a punching bag. Like you're watching something that you love get the shit beat out of it at the beginning of a game. It's like, you're meant for bigger things, Brucey.
I know.
Maybe Brucey needs a spinoff. It could happen. I mean, honestly, I'm sure, we can, do like, you get yourself a little comic strip, get a little domain, Brucey the Pupper, Brucey the punching bag pupper or something like that.
Compromise Brucey in a dominatrix outfit. Just saying.
I think we got it. I think we nailed it, Andy. Let's write that down. Let's trademark that.
Those two done.
Battle pups.
What are your commission rates, Lucy? I can send you some requests when this episode's over.
Some unsavory requests.
I need a Facebook profile picture.
Not with Brucey. Never.
So let's talk about like what got you into this industry. Like, I'm sure you have an interesting story. Everybody has their own ins and outs of how they got into art design for games and stuff like that. Where did everything start for you?
Yeah, I don't know. I always liked to draw, but back in my day, I guess a career in games was not something that was just a well-known thing. I played games. My parents played games. Like, we all played games as a family. Like, games were a big part of like our life, I guess. And then I wanted to do something creative, and I was going to do illustration. I ended up doing animation, and at the uni I went to Teesside Uni, and they have big games courses. And I was like, oh my god, people like go to uni to make games. I didn't even know that was like. It never occurred to me that people make games, even though it makes sense.
Sure.
But I could be one of those people, like creating these experiences for others. Like, somebody had created those for me. And as soon as I found that out, I was like, that's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to do. So I finished uni and I was like, this is what I'm doing now. I work in games.
And just so I'm clear, your parents, your Greek parents, encouraged you to pursue this career path.
Yep, they were very supportive.
So it's just mine then.
No, I think Lucy might have the magical unicorn family.
I feel like, my entire life I was like, oh, it's just my old school Greek parents that poo-pooed on my game design wishes when I was like 10 years old. But no, it's just, I thought it was all Greeks. Nope, it's just mine.
I think it may be
mine.
I think it may be a big amount, because my grandparents, they still don't know what I do. They're like, and they're always so worried, because they're like, do you have work? Do you get paid? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm great. Like,
yeah, it's the biggest industry in the world, like entertainment industry. Yeah, I make money. We're good. You ever hear of Microsoft? They signed checks for me. Like, yeah, we're good. Yeah, it's baffling. It's crazy.
Especially in this pandemic, we're thriving, like, as an industry. And I mean, the not great part is that we're still working. And still working just as much as we did before. I did get kind of jealous during lockdowns when people are like, oh, I have to, like, I don't know what to do. I have so much free time. It was like, sucks to be you, I guess. Like,
yeah.
So boo-hoo. Like,
it's funny. Some of my family in Greece thinks I only do a podcast for a living. And they have that same, like, how are things? Are you getting by? And I'm like, you paint houses and you pick crops. Like, I should be concerned about you half the time. I'm okay. I
work in New York City. There's a job every 5 feet. Like, I could, whatever. Anyway, so what was your first break into what was your first break when you got out of university and you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and you got your stylus and you got your pens and you're like, let me do the thing. How did you do the thing?
Yeah, I got lucky, and I think most people have that kind of story. Even though it was a bit harder, I guess, it's just balanced out. But I knew I wanted to go freelance straight away. I didn't want to look for a job at a studio, so it was much easier to find something like small freelance projects to work on. I guess the bad thing was that they didn't pay as well, and there was no stable pay. So the first couple of years are obviously really hard.
Sure.
But I don't think there were times I was discouraged or feeling like I was not doing very well. But it's the same with even people who are looking for jobs at studios. There are just so many games graduates now, and you don't come up prepared, I feel, a lot of the times, on how to find work. Because skills are one thing, but skills are not what get people jobs. Like the craft. I feel like it's a lot about the soft skills and networking and being friendly and all that stuff that nobody prepares you to do. I remember I was spending like evenings. I was like, I need to get better at drawing, and not attending networking events. Which is, as soon as I did that, I got many more projects, and that's how my career got better and better, because you work for someone and then they know someone else, and then that person needs work, and it's just through recommendations more than anything. Yeah,
Well-
so it was hard, it was slow, but as soon as I picked up what I needed to do, it went
What was the
great.
first project? Like, what was the first one that saw out in the wild as like, I did that? That was mine.
It was a small kids character making thing, like, you know, like you would scroll and like where you pick the heads and pick the bodies and stuff. Yes, it was like that for young children. It was a mobile game, if I remember correctly.
My kids
and
play
it
all
was
that stuff.
fun, honestly. I was just happy to be working on a game.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I would imagine now you have your profile in the gaming space has been elevated since you've worked on Battletoads. Has everyone come sniffing around like, Lucy, we want you, like, just work with us, be our person on this full time, like ditch the freelance stuff, like be with us.
Come to the
Has
dark
that
side.
happened since the game has launched, and now you're in a more of a, you know, in the public eye, so to speak?
Yeah, that's a sore subject with Delilah, who developed like Battletoads, because they keep trying to get me to, even though I'm working with them full time on the next project.
All right, so they got you sort of, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I agree, but it's a sore subject. They say that I will, at some point, I'll break and just agree to go full time on them, like not freelance anymore. But we'll see.
You hear that, Andy? The next project. I heard the words "next project."
Yeah, which I asked her about, but she's like, I can't
"There's a
talk
next
about
project
that.
confirmed." All right, let's write that
Can't talk
down.
about that.
Next project confirmed.
I mean, yeah,
out.
we are working on something. I can say that.
Oh, and she said she's got it for a year, so we know the game's coming out in a year. Okay, we got it. This is how we spin rumors. Here we go. Let's do
Lucy
it.
is going to be like the Insomnia games of artists. They're going to work with this person for like a long time, then they'll acquire you at some point years from now.
They'll make you the head lead art whatever person, the chief art person.
They made me art director, and there's no further to go. So.
But somebody hired you. You need to be the person that does the hiring of you. Mm-hmm. Once you're that person, then you just kind of sit in the chair like this with the arms crossed, and you say, "Nay, I don't like this design. Out."
You call this a Brucey?
This isn't a Brucey. My first thing I ever drew was Brucey, and it made it into the first level of the game. You call this art? Get this penguin out of here. Penguins.
Ramsey of.
Penguins are so 1997.
Sounds like I'll be a delight to work with.
Basically, what we're saying is Microsoft's going to corrupt you, and you should probably stay a freelancer. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You don't have to worry about anything like that. So when you do freelance, when you're picking your things, do you work on multiple projects at once? I know at this point you said that they kind of taken you away full time, but does that mean that you're not actively searching for something to complement it, or how do you keep yourself fresh and engaged in different projects and stuff like that, so you don't kind of like corner yourself?
Yeah, before this I did, and I guess before like mid Battletoads, the time that I was working on that, I always worked on a lot of things at the same time, or like every couple of months, like change something, do something different, because that's why I got into freelancing, because of the variety. Lately, art directing, I'm realizing I barely have time to do anything else. And it's kind of nice because it's a new challenge in itself. I've not art directed before. So it's been a while since I felt like a noob at something, and like to just trying to figure it out, it's a nice challenge, but it takes up a lot of my brain space.
Sure.
So I'm just focusing on this at the moment.
What goes into art directing? Like as an art director, what is your day to day? What does it look like? What is your how does that come together? What are your responsibilities?
Meetings, a lot of meetings. There's a lot of feedback, and more documents that I like to I like to be involved in, but I still get some time. Luckily, I make sure I get time to do some character design. But yeah, art directing is a lot of like meetings, feedback, figuring stuff out. So the artists who can do stuff better than I can, like are on the right track. Which is, I mean, the team are fantastic, and a lot of the times I look at things and I'm like, you just translated my vision exactly, and I could never do that. So yeah, the wizards.
What's been the most challenging thing for you working on this project?
On Battletoads or this
Mhm.
new project I'm on?
Oh,
Battletoads?
well, listen, we can say the new one, but then we have to go into
Well,
what it's about.
Personally, I'm interested in the fact that you're going from artist to art director. So, like, maybe you've touched on that you're a noob and it is challenging for you. So maybe you could talk about the differences between the challenges of Battletoads now to the challenges of art direction, as you know, taking the pen out of your hand, so to speak, and making you kind of a conductor of the canvas, as it were.
Yeah, I think obviously I mean, it's not that challenging, but on Battletoads, the most challenging thing was time, which is not like it's something that happens in everything, I guess. And I was doing a lot of different things. I worked on like obviously I did character designs, but I did some storyboarding. I did some like I don't know like avatars for the game, the little icons, and it was always fresh. But like my only thing was like me managing myself, knowing I have all this stuff to do. So I made sure I managed my time, so everything got done when it needed to get done. So it was a challenge artistically because the style was something that I was like at the beginning, because I said like it was something that I had not done before that much. But then at the end, like it had become such a big part of what I do that it just came naturally. The challenge now is just making sure like you're not like I'm not managing just my own time, but I have the whole art department to worry about.
Right.
And there's things that I didn't usually get involved in because I usually work on like quite early on in the process before like implementation happens, and now I have to think about that as well, and just timelines
Sure.
and all that. So I think the managing is the most like the biggest challenge for me, and also finding the balance where I guess where my vision is and respecting the artist's expertise as well.
Right.
So yeah, because like obviously like I'm not an environment artist. I know what I want the thing to look like, but they know what they're doing as well.
Right.
So it's just finding that nice balance of where like this is what I want it to look like, and they're like, we can't do that, or like we need to do it this way, and I'm like, sure, let's adjust the vision, I guess.
Are you also responsible for the cohesion between the environments, the characters, the animations, and like all that stuff? Like you're making sure that all kind of pieces together, even though there are different artists and maybe different groups of people doing those different pieces, you still have to be the visionary that kind of puts it all together.
Exactly. I need to know what the thing should look like and what the thing will look like at the end when it all comes together.
And is that all? That's all your call? Is that all your call, or is it like is there somebody above you saying we want this kind of game? Make sure it looks like this, and then you go, oh yeah, I can make it look like this.
No, I've had a lot of freedom, and we were
cool.
on the same page with the creative director. So he seems to be really happy with like AJ from Delilah. He seems to be very happy with everything so far. He's not told me like this is all garbage. Just throw it out.
It's rubbish.
Yeah, but I think that's how I ended up becoming art director. Even on Battletoads, we found out we work so well together. And when we talked, like he gave me the shortest, most vague briefs to create characters. It's like, oh, I want somebody who's like weird and I don't know, like blows up. And I was like, cool, that's specific. But that's why like I enjoyed the freedom. And we also found out that he could do that because we just knew what each other needed and wanted to see. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, when you leave it that broad, it's like essentially here are the basic bullet points, if that, and just go crazy. But Have you been told ever in your career, like, this is not what I want, and then you would come back and say, no, I'm right, and you're a moron. This is beautiful. I don't know what you're talking about. This is it. This is the final version. You take it and you shove it. Have you
Not
had
those
those
words.
moments? Well, yeah, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but
Yeah, so I mean, I've been working in games. I've been doing this for a long, long time. And if you add my like uni, like when I was getting my degree as well, like drawing and designing characters, I have all these years of experience. So if somebody hires me, I just need to know that they respect that.
mm-hmm.
And I do sometimes, like, depends on the project, but sometimes the artist does know better. Like if it's somebody who doesn't have that experience in maybe games or whatever. So yeah, there have been times where I'm like, no, you're wrong. But I always have reasons. I always have like something to back it up.
Mm.
So
Right.
yeah, I'm never just like, no, you're wrong. This is it. This is what you're getting.
I can imagine just like years down the line, you're just like, I'm sorry, did you work on Battletoads? No, I worked on Battletoads. Yeah, that's right.
I am Battletoads.
Did you do the Brucey? I don't think so.
I don't believe
Sir.
you were the lead
Well,
Brucey
well,
artist,
well.
sir.
I really hope every time like I talk about Battletoads, I talk about Brucey. So I really hope it becomes this like huge icon. That's my goal.
It could be done.
Maybe that's what it would take
Ooh,
to sign you on as a full-time employee.
I
Like,
think I
this
know
is
what our
on
thumbnail should
board.
be.
Yeah.
We need to get a headshot of Lucy and Brucey.
Mm-hmm.
Put them together.
That's it.
I think that's it. I think we got
I'm
it.
going to do a Google search right
Get
now.
on it.
It's in the
Get on
works.
it.
It's in the
Get
works.
on it, Andy. So 10 years, man. That's something, man. It's what have you? I mean, we have next gen. We're right in the middle of next gen right now. We got PS5, we got Series X and S and all that stuff. Has this been an exciting time for you? And seeing what the new hardware can do as an artist? I imagine it's got to be somewhat exciting to see the different, the power out there now that you could kind of experiment with.
Yeah, I think for me, it's more as a consumer that I'm excited about.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Than a developer. Obviously, like I think it's because like I always advocate for like I mostly worked on 2D stuff, or like I did stuff that would translate in 3D, and that was someone else's problem, like the translating it into the game. So yeah, I'm more excited as a consumer, like playing. Like the PS5 has been sitting there for like 2 days, and I've not had a chance to play yet.
Oh,
I'm
Lucy,
just
you're killing
waiting.
me. You gotta put the art pad down for a second and just dive in. Oh,
Gotta pick up that DualSense. Oh baby.
Honestly, since I started working in games, I've been playing less and less games.
That's something we've heard. We've heard. Usually, when they release a game, if it's the like person in charge, they release the game, and then they have like 3 weeks where they just let the programmers fix bugs and put out patches while they just decompress and play everything they missed the last 3 years, and then they go right back into worrying about what the next thing is.
We've had guests when they said, "Oh, there's new game consoles coming out." I had no idea.
That is something that actually happened. Wait, there's a PlayStation 5? Like, yeah.
I believe that. They're probably so into a project that just.
But as a game developer, it's a little alarming.
I mean, yeah.
Listen.
It depends what stage I guess you work on, right?
Tunnel vision, right? You you're making a Steam game. You're making a Steam game. That's it. That's all you're worried about.
Care about for the next like 5 years or whatever. Like, yeah.
Exactly. Andy, any final questions for this portion before we get into rapid fire?
No, I am like I said, I am so over prepared for rapid fire.
Oh God.
No.
Lucy, I'm so sorry.
Spicy and so good.
Okay.
I am excited about this one.
I'm gonna have a breakdown.
Oh.
I'm terrible at thinking on my feet, so.
All right. Well,
let's see how that goes.
Don't worry, we won't make it too hard for you, but it's gonna be fun.
before we
It's
get
always
into
fun.
that, before we get into rapid fire, let's tell everybody about our other shows going on. We have rebranded the Dual Screens Gamescast. We are now the Dual Screens Crossplay Podcast. So go check that out. That is actually going to start posting every Wednesday. We're going to be recording that live on Tuesday on twitch.tv/dual screen streams. We're going to be recording that on Tuesday, and we're actually, it's going to be available on Wednesday, but I'm going to pretty much edit it and put it up as soon as we're done recording, basically. So it could be up as early as Tuesday nights. So it's going to be one of those things where we're going to get in there, we're going to record it, we're going to put it up there. We want to be in on the news. A lot of news seems to drop on Tuesdays, so it'll be a fun Mondays and Tuesdays, so it'll be a fun thing there. So keep an eye on that. We are going to be recording the rest of our seasonal content, casting call. That's coming up very soon. Taylor's going to be involved in that as well, our newest member of Dual Screens. And just to remind you, if you want to support us on Patreon and get all sorts of things like bonus episodes, early access content, free show or post-show content, or any of that fun stuff, or you want to join our VIP Discord and talk to game developers like Lucy and us, you can do so by going to patreon.com/NDS podcast, just like our two Patreon producers did, Colton the Apprentice Nestler and FNH Paul. We cannot continue to grow without all of your support, so please consider doing that. You guys have helped us out immensely this year, getting our next-gen coverage, getting our hands on next-gen products. All sorts of stuff was because of your help that we were able to do that and get you that coverage more quickly, instead of being struggling to find something throughout the holidays. We were able to get our hands on these things day one so that we could give you that coverage, and we are so grateful for that. So thank you very, very much. All right, so let's get into rapid fire, and we're going to give you an easy one. We're going to start you off with an easy one. Would you rather have the power of flight or invisibility?
Invisibility. No, I'm changing it. Flight.
Changing it.
Flight.
Flight. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I think I would hate being invisible.
What's one superpower you would not want to have?
Oh.
Like super strength. That's just super boring and basic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's fair.
I'm thinking like a Cyclops.
That is horrible.
You have to wonder how many he killed before they got to him.
But then you get to wear cool shades and just be super
right.
cool.
I mean, yeah.
Cool, but yeah, could make it cool.
That poor bastard. That poor kid. I just can't imagine the first time it happens. Like, that's never
right.
Like, just punching a hole through somebody's head. Is breakfast cereal a soup?
What? You making me question everything now? No,
Okay.
it's not. Obviously, it's not.
Okay, that's fair.
Is pizza an open-faced sandwich?
It is not.
Mm-hmm.
It is not, because the reason for the sandwich is trying to get meat into your mouth without getting your hands dirty. But pizza, you get your hands dirty, and also usually some cheese.
Interesting.
Good answer.
Now, sticking with the pizza thing, if you put taco like toppings or whatever, or like taco meat on a slice of pizza and fold it, does it become a taco?
No, it's a calzone.
Oh. Wow. Okay. Very, very, very clever.
Let's see here. On an average day, how many pigeons do you think you can carry?
Like, do I have to carry the same pigeons all day?
No, you're walking down the street and you're just gathering pigeons in your arms. How many can you carry at a single time? Reasons aside.
I don't know, maybe like 15?
15 pigeons.
15
wow,
pigeons.
Holy shit.
Okay.
These are very complicit pigeons.
I feel like if you open your arms and then
you could get them. Yeah, you squeeze. Their bones are hollow. They're fine.
Are you Home Alone 2 Pigeon Lady in disguise?
Pigeon Lady.
At some point?
Pigeon Lady.
What's going on?
Maybe though.
Lucy, would you rather have a hook arm, hook hand, or a peg leg foot?
Peg leg foot. I couldn't draw. Like I couldn't make money.
But you can art direct. You could direct the hell out of some art with a hook.
I know, but like I feel like I would be too intimidating as a director with like a.
Listen here.
Yeah.
See, now I think I have the answer for my next question, which is going to be: would you rather have bionic arms or bionic legs?
Bionic. Ooh.
Yeah, bionic arms, because then I could just set into automatic and just withdraw while I slept.
Do good work.
Yeah.
Would you rather have access to any objects you want, so it's there no matter what, or would you rather have unlimited money?
Access to any object.
Yeah.
Can you fold a fitted sheet?
No, that's an easy.
That's the correct answer for that one.
I'm pretty sure nobody
yes.
can. I don't think anybody can. Even those YouTubers.
I think only Satan can fold a fitted sheet.
Satan's minions can.
Yeah.
If you were to be arrested and put in prison, what would it be for? What would you think it would be for?
I don't know. Probably like something to do with drinking. I would assume
Disorderly conduct.
I would do something
okay.
awful when drinking.
Lucy is a slosh confirmed. Good. Write that down.
Yep.
Write that down, Andy.
This may also answer my next question. You just became a member of the Spice Girls. What is your Spice name?
Oh, it can't be drunk spice. Rum spice.
That works.
Hey,
that works. Double entendre.
That really does work.
Yeah. That would be exciting because the shoes, man. Just the shoes.
Yeah.
The rum shoes. That's
for
good.
sure.
Yeah. Although drinking in those shoes, bad combination.
It worked out for half the Spice Girls. It's fine.
Yeah.
It worked out for Britney. Britney was fine. She handled that. She handled that like a pro.
Always carry around the rum ham. Just have to, your signature.
That's it. Just dip ham dipped. Yeah, there you go. You got it. Everything's fine.
Just
We're fine.
Eating just all the time. That sounds like a perfect job.
What else? Okay, let's go back to like superheroes and stuff like that. Are you do you prefer Batman or Superman?
I mean, I guess Batman, if I had to pick out the two.
Okay, so you seem a little apathetic towards the Batman and the Superman. So my next question is going to go somewhere else. Okay, Andy, you go.
If you were given the chance to work on another franchise revival of your choosing, what would it be? What would it be?
Revival?
Yeah, so it's like a Battletoads, but it's you are looking in the recess of your game career as a kid growing up till today. What do you think needs a revival that you could bring back?
Oh, that is super hard.
They'll give you all the money. It's like, Lucy, bring back Kickle Cubicle.
Yes, we love Kickle Cubicle.
Cubert.
Ooh, Cubert.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
I sometimes still hum the soundtrack to it. So
get stuck in your
head.
It's
it's one of those games that I didn't really. Oh, also there was this game that I just nobody I've talked to knows about this game. Is it cool if I kind of derail?
Oh, yes.
Oh no, this is the point of this. Yes.
Yeah.
So there was this game back when like games came in like massive discs.
Sure.
Like those card things.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And it was a game where like they would throw babies out of a burning building, and you would have to like bounce them.
Oh my god!
Into things. And
I think
Fire
that
Brigade
was at my school.
was it?
Was it really? Because
like in the computer lab.
This.
Holy shit! This
I would
sounds
make
so
that game.
familiar.
Bouncing babies off a burning building.
Hold on, we're gonna look this up, chat. We're gonna look this up.
I know we had something like that. We had Carmen Sandiego on the school like computer lab. This is wild. Oh boy, this is what we ask the good questions on the show.
Hold on, Fire Rescue PC game.
Flashpoint?
No, it's not Flashpoint. That's an old one. Let's see. Oh, that's a newer one rather. This would be in the 90s, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
we'll see.
But like, it could have been a bit older. Like, because it was
floppy disk.
1988 Firehouse Rescue.
Yeah, the big ones.
Hold on. Oh, we're playing audio here, folks. Hold on.
Is there a commercial?
It's a
for
Fisher
this?
Price game. Hold on. Wait, this is okay. Now we're rescuing. Okay, no, we're rescuing cats from trees here in this one. This is like the Fisher Price Little People,
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
where you're going down and you're getting them off of a. Okay, so it might not be that one.
All right,
Mhm.
we'll find it.
Okay, so you don't like Batman or Superman because apparently you're
No.
some sort of heathen. So what? Who is your favorite superhero?
Yeah.
Favorite?
Yeah, like what do you
That
like?
changes. That changes from time to time.
Mm.
I don't think I have a favorite superhero. Well, that's now I'm a heathen. I like
my
a lot,
goodness.
but I just don't like really like Superman, Captain America types. I hate them.
You like those pretty
Um,
boys? I got it.
No, I just don't like the whole like I'm doing it because it's right. Like just have better motivations.
It's like screw your fucking morals, goody two
Yeah,
shoes.
exactly.
Screw your morals, you
Everything's
jerks.
Black and white in life.
All right, my next few questions are geared towards food,
Yes.
Greek food specifically.
Mm.
Moussaka or pasticcio?
Pasticcio.
Yes, goddamn. it,
Wow.
yes.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
I've been to Greece once. Where
You have.
I have. I've been there once. Where's your favorite? What's your favorite? I don't know, city or whatever in Greece.
It's Thessaloniki, I guess, where I grew
Oh
up.
my god, yeah, I have family there. Oh my god, it's so pretty.
Yeah, it's
So
a nice
pretty.
seaside city. It's like the second biggest
Hmm
in Greece. It's good.
Gorgeous. Baklava or galaktompudiko?
Baklava.
Mm,
Yes.
Smart girl. Good
I'm
choices.
so quick on these. Like when
You
it comes to food,
are.
I'm like, I know what I
if you
like.
weren't, then I'd question everything because you gotta know right away what these answers are. It's the
Yeah,
obvious.
that's true.
All right. Well, staying on the whole food thing. Pineapple on pizza? Yes or no?
Oh boy.
No.
No, that was very quick.
No.
That was very
Not for
quick.
me. Not for me.
That's
I don't
fine.
judge.
It's fine.
I judge a little
That's
bit,
good, that's
but
good.
internal.
I've noticed the
Right,
pattern with the Greek people, though.
Right.
I've
Yes.
noticed the pattern.
That's also a no-go for me as well.
Mhm.
Souvlaki or gyro?
Souvlaki.
Have you said spinacopita yet? Have you gotten?
I
Have
have
you
not
asked
mentioned
about
that yet. No.
No?
We can say I'll go with ortiropita.
Tiropita. I don't like spinach. So
Good girl.
That's weird.
So good.
You don't like
All
spinach?
the right answers. I mean, I like spinach, but if it's between spinach pie and cheese pie, I'm going to cheese pie.
Yeah, I mean, I
It's
would
like-
too, but I've never had a cheese pie per se. You know, maybe I have. I guess that could be considered a lasagna, right? That's got a lot of cheese in it, and it's pie shaped.
Done correctly.
Yeah, I mean, you're both comparing that to a pasticcio though. Lasagna, it's like Greek lasagna is pasticcio more or less. I wouldn't call it a cheese pie.
Oh yeah, I don't know. What? Let's see. Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
It is
I'm
my
on
turn.
food though, so you can go to a different area if you'd like.
Did you play any sports as a child?
Yes, I played tennis and I played a bit of football. Like soccer, I guess.
Footy ball.
Mhm.
The old footy.
Football? Yeah, well, yeah, football.
Shoe ball.
You know, football as
Yeah,
it's
but
supposed to be
mostly
called.
tennis. I played tennis.
Mhm. What's the largest animal you think you could knock out with a single punch?
Like a hamster.
I think you'd kill the hamster with a single punch.
I don't think I can knock anything out with a single punch.
But you could totally murder some hamsters. Great.
Like a guinea pig.
Okay.
You know?
Would you rather have fisticuffs with 10 duck-sized horses or
Okay.
one horse-sized duck?
Mm.
Okay, the horses.
Mhm.
Sure.
The little horses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fisticuffs. I'm saying, dude, you're getting in there. Okay.
I'm getting there.
I feel like it's different for a woman to go into that battle because like those horses kick, and when they're that short, they're kicking at a very specific spot of the male anatomy.
I mean, how big are ducks?
I mean, some of them can get
Depends.
I don't know, maybe 2.5 feet. I don't know. I feel like
Can they
I
really?
feel like a horse can like really get up there, with the back legs can really,
Wow. Oh,
I don't know. I'm scared, especially if it's some sort of, I don't know. But can you imagine a duck the size of a Clydesdale? I'd be terrified. That's a dinosaur.
No.
I've said it on the show before. It's a dinosaur. That's what that is. That's a
nightmares.
that's a large. That's a small
Raptor.
T-Rex.
I don't like
Is what
it.
that
I
is.
don't like it at all. Don't want it. Don't want any part of that. What is something that we wouldn't believe about you?
Something true
Oh.
about you that
So it's
you
true,
wouldn't
But
believe.
we'd be like, come on, you didn't fucking fly to the Venus.
Right.
I don't know. I think people would expect a lot of things from me. It can't be alcohol related because people would definitely believe that. They'd be like, yeah, of course you did it.
I'm sober. Maybe that's the one.
There it is. Nailed it.
It's like, you guys, I'm sober. No, you're not, Lucy. Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Have you seen Brucey? There's no way you're sober right now.
Oh boy.
God, that was good. Yeah, I don't know. I once got into a country by crying. I didn't have a passport, and they let
Oh
me
my
in because I
God.
cried.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
So
wow.
I guess I did something quite illegal.
Oh my
That's
god.
what-
No, actually, they did.
Yeah. You
They
cried.
didn't have to let you in.
That-
you didn't
that's
do
totally
anything
on
illegal.
them.
You didn't like
Yeah.
sneaky. No, they were like, yeah, okay, come
That's
on.
true.
Which,
Yeah.
which country? And I'm curious.
Oh no, I'm not saying anything.
Oh
else.
boy.
It's definitely not the States because
I
they
was younger.
we would have beat the hell out of you with sticks
Did
if you
you
tried to
go
pull that shit
there-
here.
Without a passport, or you like, oh shit, it's out
I
of my
forgot
pocket.
my passport.
You forgot
and
it. Okay.
that's the part people would definitely believe that. I forgot my passport.
Right. And my dog ate my
Yeah.
homework. Great, good stuff.
Yeah.
What animal would you have as a pet that nobody would be surprised of? What weird exotic animal? Not like your cat or dog or fish or whatever, but what weird animal would you have as a pet and people go, yeah, that's okay. That makes sense.
A panda or a meerkat? I like both.
Oh,
a lot.
meerkat.
So-
Meerkats are
Ooh,
cool.
panda. Mhm.
All right, Andy, why don't you get one more question, then we'll ask the final
All
question
right.
of the
Now we
after.
did ask about pineapple on pizza.
We did.
And you have a resounding no, which I highly
Resounding.
appreciate. But if you were a pizza topping,
Mhm.
which would you be?
I would be like 20 cheeses.
Wow,
Oh my
all the
God.
cheeses.
Just
Wow.
cheeses, all the cheeses.
Tell you,
Wow.
man, us Greeks love the goddamn cheese. It's like,
What's not to
all about
love?
it.
Cheese is
Cheese
delicious.
is the best.
I know. The gooier, the
Especially
better.
when I went to Greece on my honeymoon, and over here, when you get a big thing of feta, it's like $10, right? It's like a big block, and you're like $10. Over there, they serve it with water. They're like, "Here's your block of cheese in your ice water," and you're like, "What?" And it's like this thick, and you just kind of cut. You're just eating cheese, and you're like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, sign me up. Sign me up for this any day of the week."
It's like, and here's the flaming cheese for you, sir. Coming
Yes.
up next.
Oh yes, I would like the flaming cheese, the melted cheese, the iced cheese, and if you could just put
Right.
cheese in my coffee, that would be great.
Just get an IV
Oh,
going.
that sounds disgusting.
You say that now. You say that now, but you haven't tried it yet. Okay.
Don't knock until you try it. I guess.
Exactly. Don't yuck somebody's yum, okay? Final question, and I feel like this one's not fair at this point.
It isn't. It's really not.
I feel like
really
this
hate
one's
to
not
do
a fair
this.
question. This is not a
This
fair
is-
question, but it is what it
I
is.
never felt more ashamed about this than I do right now.
Well, it is what it
I'm
is.
just getting it out there.
All right. Well, Lucy, it's a simple question. It's a very simple question. You could take this any way you want. It doesn't have to have any sort of motives under it whatsoever. It is just a binary answer. It is this or that. Simple. And the question, of course, is Andy or Steve?
Neither.
We have not had a neither. We've
That is
not
the
had a
first.
neither. We've had a both.
We've gotten I can't choose. We've gotten resounding one column then the other column, but
We've gotten
not
both.
one
We've
either of
gotten.
us.
We've got. This is interesting.
Whew. It was episode for firsts, and
There-
this one
it was.
really really nailed it.
It was.
in the coffin of my
And
heart.
it's just not fair choosing, you know. So I just had to.
Sure, you could try and dig your way out of this. That's
She
fine.
just walked
Good luck.
walked away. She grabbed her little handbag and just said, "I'm leaving the
Just
room,
like
guys."
drop the mic and just leave.
She Homer Simpsons back into that bush real quick with that question.
It's
That
like
was really good.
just hang up the call. That's you've been better off doing.
Oh, internet.
Could you imagine?
Pixar's calling. I gotta go. All right, folks, that's going to bring us to the end of the show. If you want to follow us on social media, we are at duel_screens. I am at Batchild27. Andy is at PantsGuy. Our Facebook group is facebook.com/groups/DS podcasts. Again, if you want to follow us on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/dualscreenstreams, youtube.com/dualscreens.tv. I also have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Batchild. Lucy, where can everybody find you? Follow your career, follow your projects, all that fun stuff. Give everybody the rundown.
Yeah, people can find me on Twitter at Lucy Does Art or on Instagram at RTBT, where I post more drawing stuff, I guess, art stuff.
Awesome. Andy,
All right.
Yeah.
let's thank our contributors here. Bradley
Yes,
Parsons
please.
at Train
Go
Sound
ahead.
Studio for our theme song. Thank you, Andrew Douglas, for our cartoon art. Thank you, Matt Murray, for our overlay and all that fun stuff. Thank you, our Patreon producers again, Colton, the Apprentice Nestler, and FNH Paul. Now, Andy, is there anything you want to tell the listeners before we go?
Yeah, I just want to say, Lucy, thank you so much for coming on the show. You are an inspiration. You're fantastic, and I think it's a testament to, if you don't like something going in, there's always a story behind it, and we should always look at things with an open mind. And you're amazing, and
Oh.
I hope one day we'll get that baby fire rescue game out of you at some point.
I
Right.
know.
Those
Starring
are my dreams for
Brucey.
you.
Fingers
Those are my
crossed.
those are my dreams for you.
Oh my God, imagine Brucey's a volunteer fireman, and we're just punching him in his fat face for
Oh,
no
wait,
reason.
no.
Is that the backstory now?
He's a volunteer fireman
He's trying
catching
to get to a fire.
literally catching babies out of burning buildings. And here we are, just Battletoad punching him right in the mouth. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We're such shitty people.
The tragic story of Brucey just continues.
That is going to do it
Thank you
for us.
for having me, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
It was really
It's a
fun.
pleasure. And
Super
maybe
fun.
when you guys announce your next project, you come back on, tell us all about it and everything like that.
It's happening.
Yeah.
We would love to have you back. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, viewers. And as always, please be excellent to each other.